My dear brothers and sisters, life is filled with moments that test our patience, challenge our hearts, and provoke strong emotions. Anger, frustration, jealousy, and sadness are feelings that everyone experiences. Yet the way we respond to them determines whether we find peace or chaos in our lives. Controlling our emotions is not a sign of weakness, rather it is a mark of strength, wisdom, and maturity. A person who masters their emotions is able to navigate life's challenges with calmness, clarity, and a sense of balance. The first step in controlling your emotions is awareness. Recognize the feelings as they arise in your heart. Don't deny them, suppress them, or act on impulse. Instead, pause and reflect. Ask yourself, is this reaction going to benefit me or harm me? Will it bring me closer to peace or lead me into regret? The Prophet ﷺ reminded us that the strong person is not the one who overpowers others, but the one who controls themselves when angry. Understanding this truth is the key to transforming emotional energy into positive action. Patience is another essential element. Life will always have trials, people will disappoint you, and circumstances may seem unfair. But patience allows you to endure without resentment and to respond with wisdom rather than emotion. Remember, every moment of restraint strengthens your character and brings you closer to Allah. Practicing dhikr, recitation of Quran, and sincere prayer also help in calming the heart and grounding the mind. Self-reflection is crucial as well. Ask yourself why certain situations trigger strong emotions. Are they tied to pride, insecurity, or attachment to worldly outcomes? By identifying the root causes, you can address the heart's weaknesses and replace impulsive reactions with thoughtful responses. Finally, controlling emotions does not mean being emotionless. It means channeling them wisely. Kindness, forgiveness, gratitude, and empathy flourish when emotions are managed properly. The person who masters their emotions experiences peace in every situation, regardless of external chaos. Emotional control is one of the most important skills a believer can develop, yet it is often overlooked in the rush of daily life. Emotions are natural. They arise in every human heart, from anger and frustration to sadness and excitement. However, what distinguishes a mature and strong individual is not the absence of emotions, but the ability to manage them effectively. Islam teaches that a person's strength is measured by their ability to remain composed when provoked, to respond with wisdom rather than impulse, and to control the heart in times of trial. Emotional control is not suppression or denial. It is awareness, understanding, and purposeful management of feelings. The first step toward emotional control is awareness. One must recognize emotions as they arise, observing them without immediate reaction. Anger, jealousy, or fear can be powerful, but if left unchecked, they can lead to regretful words, harmful actions, and unrest in the heart. By pausing and reflecting before responding, a believer gains the opportunity to act with clarity, patience, and wisdom. Awareness allows the heart to assess whether a reaction will lead to benefit or harm, helping to prevent unnecessary conflict and maintaining peace in relationships and within oneself. Patience plays a crucial role in managing emotions. Life is filled with trials, misunderstandings, and disappointments, and the heart is naturally inclined to react. Patience helps to slow down impulsive responses and provide space for reason and reflection. The Quran and Sunnah emphasize patience as a virtue that brings reward, strengthens character, and safeguards the heart from harm. It allows a believer to face difficulties with resilience and respond to provocation with calmness, avoiding actions that may create regret or tension. Self-reflection is also essential for emotional control. Understanding the root causes of strong emotions, whether it is pride, insecurity, or unmet expectations, enables a person to address underlying issues and develop healthier responses. This reflection, combined with reliance on Allah through prayer, dhikr, and contemplation, softens the heart, reduces impulsivity, and cultivates emotional maturity that leads to lasting inner peace. Patience is a cornerstone of emotional control and a source of profound inner peace. Life is filled with challenges, delays, and disappointments, and it is natural for the heart to feel restless or frustrated when things do not go as planned. Yet Islam teaches that patience is not merely the act of waiting, it is the strength to endure difficulties with dignity, wisdom, and reliance on Allah. A patient heart remains calm in adversity, responds thoughtfully rather than impulsively, and views trials as opportunities for growth rather than obstacles. One of the most important aspects of patience is understanding the impermanence of worldly events. Situations that seem overwhelming or unfair are temporary, and they carry lessons and wisdom from Allah. By maintaining patience, a believer distances themselves from rash reactions, anger, or despair, and instead approaches life with a sense of balance and clarity. This awareness allows the heart to remain steady even when external circumstances are challenging, and strengthens trust in Allah's divine plan. Patience also involves restraint in speech and action. When provoked or faced with injustice, the impulsive response may create regret or conflict. However, the patient believer pauses, reflects, and chooses responses that are constructive and in accordance with ethical and spiritual principles. This deliberate approach prevents unnecessary harm, fosters harmony in relationships, and protects the heart from emotional turmoil. The Prophet ﷺ emphasized that controlling one's anger and showing patience is a mark of true strength and righteousness, highlighting that patience is a virtue that brings both spiritual and practical benefits. Additionally, patience nurtures resilience and perseverance. Life's tests, whether personal, social, or professional, become opportunities to develop character, strengthen faith, and cultivate reliance on Allah. A heart anchored in patience is less affected by disappointment or setbacks because it recognizes that every difficulty carries divine wisdom and that relief and reward follow every trial. Practices such as prayer, dhikr, and reflection enhance patience by calming the heart and providing perspective, allowing the believer to approach challenges with composure and confidence. Ultimately, patience is more than an emotional response, it is a spiritual discipline that transforms the heart. By embracing patience, a believer gains control over their reactions, maintains emotional balance, and experiences peace that is not dependent on external circumstances but rooted in faith and trust in Allah. Self-awareness is a vital component of emotional control and a pathway to lasting peace in life. Many people go through their days reacting to situations without fully understanding why they feel a certain way or why certain circumstances trigger strong emotions. Islam encourages reflection and mindfulness, teaching that the heart and mind must be examined to cultivate wisdom, patience, and balance. When a believer becomes aware of their emotions and the reasons behind them, they gain the ability to respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively, turning potential chaos into calm and measured action. The first step in developing self-awareness is observing the emotions as they arise. Feelings such as anger, jealousy, or fear are natural, but the key is to recognize them before they control behavior. By acknowledging these emotions without judgment, a person can pause and assess the situation with clarity. This pause creates space for rational thinking, allowing the heart to evaluate whether a reaction will lead to benefit or harm, and whether it aligns with the principles of faith. Awareness prevents rash decisions, hurtful words, and regrets that often follow uncontrolled emotional responses. Self-awareness also involves understanding the root causes of emotion. Many times, strong feelings arise not only from external circumstances but also from internal triggers such as pride, insecurity, or unmet expectations. By reflecting on these underlying causes, a believer can address personal weaknesses, nurture positive traits, and develop strategies to manage emotions more effectively. This insight strengthens character, improves relationships, and contributes to a calm, balanced state of mind. Another aspect of self-awareness is monitoring the impact of emotions on the body and behavior. Stress, anxiety, or anger can affect health, judgment, and interactions with others. Recognizing these signs early allows a person to take corrective steps such as practicing prayer, dhikr, deep breathing, or seeking guidance through reflection and consultation. Self-awareness is closely linked to spiritual growth. A heart that is mindful of its emotions and intentions is better able to seek forgiveness, express gratitude, and maintain humility. It becomes easier to trust Allah, accept life's tests, and remain patient in adversity. By cultivating self-awareness, a believer gains mastery over emotions, develops inner resilience, and experiences a peace that is rooted in understanding, reflection, and alignment with faith. Reflection and self-evaluation are essential tools for controlling emotions and maintaining peace in every situation. In life, challenges, misunderstandings, and unexpected events are inevitable, and it is easy for the heart to react impulsively when provoked. Islam teaches that the heart must be nurtured and examined regularly to develop emotional resilience and wisdom. By engaging in reflection, a believer becomes aware of their thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, allowing them to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Reflection transforms emotional energy into constructive action and strengthens the connection between the heart and Allah. The first step in reflection is to pause and examine one's reactions after an emotional event. Instead of blaming external circumstances or other people, the believer looks inward to understand why a particular situation triggered such feelings. Was it pride, insecurity, fear, or attachment to worldly expectations? By identifying the root causes, a person gains insight into the heart's vulnerabilities and can take steps to address them through self-discipline, prayer, and reliance on Allah. This inward focus prevents repeated patterns of harmful reactions and fosters a sense of control over emotions. Self-evaluation also encourages accountability and personal growth. A believer who reflects on their behavior after conflicts or stressful situations can recognize moments of strength and areas for improvement. This process builds humility, teaches patience, and promotes emotional maturity. It also allows the heart to release resentment, forgive others, and avoid carrying negative emotions that disrupt inner peace. Reflection encourages the believer to act with intention, ensuring that every response aligns with ethical principles, faith, and long-term well-being. Moreover, reflection and self-evaluation are strengthened through worship, dhikr, and recitation of the Quran. These practices calm the mind, soften the heart, and provide perspective, making it easier to respond to life's challenges with wisdom. By regularly engaging in introspection, a believer develops emotional intelligence, learns to manage stress, and cultivates a resilient mindset. Reflection is not merely a passive exercise. It is an active process that prepares the heart to respond rather than react. A heart trained in self-evaluation gains control over impulses, reduces anxiety and anger, and experiences peace in every situation, regardless of external circumstances. It enables the believer to navigate life with clarity, patience, and spiritual strength, turning challenges into opportunities for growth and serenity. Healthy habits play a crucial role in controlling emotions and achieving peace in life. The human heart and mind are deeply connected to physical well-being, and neglecting basic needs such as sleep, nutrition, and exercise can make it harder to manage feelings, think clearly, and respond calmly to challenges. Islam emphasizes balance in all aspects of life, and caring for the body is considered a form of gratitude to Allah, who has entrusted us with this trust. By cultivating healthy routines, a believer strengthens both physical and emotional resilience, making it easier to maintain composure and peace in every situation. One of the most important healthy habits is regulating sleep. Adequate rest allows the mind and body to recover, reduces irritability, and improves focus, making it easier to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. A well-rested person is less likely to be overwhelmed by stress or anger and is more capable of practicing patience and mindfulness. Similarly, proper nutrition impacts emotional balance. Consuming wholesome and nutritious foods provides the energy needed for mental clarity, emotional stability, and sustained concentration, allowing the believer to approach daily challenges with calmness and strength. Regular physical activity is another key factor. Exercise releases tension, reduces anxiety, and promotes overall mental well-being. A strong and healthy body supports a balanced mind and a steady heart, helping the believer to manage emotions constructively. Additionally, engaging in consistent spiritual practices such as prayer, dhikr, and recitation of the Quran complements these habits by nurturing the soul, reducing stress, and reinforcing trust in Allah. Healthy habits also include managing time wisely and creating routines that support both personal and spiritual growth. Prioritizing tasks, setting boundaries, and taking regular moments for reflection and worship prevent feelings of overwhelm and frustration. Consistency in these habits fosters discipline, encourages mindfulness, and strengthens the ability to respond to life's challenges with composure and wisdom. By maintaining healthy habits, a believer creates an environment in which the heart, mind, and body are aligned, enabling emotional control and resilience. These habits lay the foundation for responding to adversity with patience, managing stress effectively, and experiencing a sense of inner peace that is sustained even in the face of external challenges. Mindfulness is an essential practice for controlling emotions and achieving peace in every situation. It involves being fully present in the moment, observing thoughts and feelings without judgment, and responding intentionally rather than impulsively. In Islam, mindfulness is closely linked to consciousness of Allah, known as taqwa, which encourages the believer to remember that every action and reaction carries significance. When the heart is mindful, it becomes easier to recognize emotional triggers, maintain composure, and approach challenges with clarity and wisdom, transforming ordinary moments into opportunities for growth and spiritual connection. The first step in mindfulness is awareness of the self. A believer must learn to observe their thoughts, feelings, and physical sensations as they arise, identifying patterns that may lead to negative reactions such as anger, frustration, or anxiety. By acknowledging these emotions without immediately acting upon them, the heart gains space to reflect and make conscious choices. This pause allows the believer to respond in ways that align with ethical principles, faith, and long-term well-being, preventing unnecessary conflict and regret. Mindfulness also involves focusing on intentions. Islam emphasizes that deeds are judged by intentions, and being present in each moment ensures that actions are sincere and purposeful. When a believer is mindful, they act with awareness of how their words and behaviors impact themselves and others, creating harmony in relationships and fostering emotional stability. Mindfulness encourages gratitude as well, helping the heart to appreciate blessings rather than dwell on shortcomings or disappointments, which in turn cultivates contentment and reduces stress. Spiritual practices such as prayer, dhikr, and Quranic reflection enhance mindfulness by grounding the heart and mind in remembrance of Allah. These practices provide perspective, calm the emotions, and strengthen the ability to respond with patience and composure. Mindfulness also nurtures self-discipline, enabling the believer to resist impulsive reactions, avoid harmful behaviors, and develop resilience in the face of challenges. By integrating mindfulness into daily life, a believer trains the heart to remain steady, the mind to remain focused, and the soul to remain connected to Allah. This awareness allows emotional energy to be channeled constructively, resulting in a state of inner calm, clarity, and spiritual fulfillment, even in the midst of difficulties and external pressures. Anger management is a critical aspect of controlling emotions and attaining peace in life. Anger is a natural human response, yet when left unchecked, it can lead to regretful actions, broken relationships, and a disturbed heart. Islam emphasizes that strength lies not in overpowering others, but in controlling one's own emotions, particularly anger. The Prophet ﷺ taught that the one who restrains their anger while having the power to act upon it is truly strong. Learning to manage anger is therefore not a sign of weakness but a demonstration of wisdom, patience, and faith, allowing the believer to navigate life's challenges with composure and clarity. The first step in managing anger is awareness. Recognizing the early signs of rising anger, tension in the body, racing thoughts, or irritability, allows the believer to intervene before emotions escalate. By pausing, taking deep breaths, and reflecting, one can prevent impulsive reactions that may lead to harm. This moment of reflection creates space for rational thinking, enabling responses that are measured, constructive, and aligned with Islamic teachings. Awareness also involves understanding the triggers of anger, whether they are external circumstances, personal insecurities, or unmet expectations. By identifying these sources, a believer can address the root causes and develop strategies to respond calmly in future situations. Patience plays a crucial role in anger management. Life will present injustices, disappointments, and provocations, and the heart may naturally feel agitated. Patience allows the believer to endure without reacting hastily, to choose responses that maintain dignity, and to seek solutions rather than escalate conflict. Engaging in prayer, dhikr, and Quranic reflection strengthens patience by calming the heart and providing perspective, reminding the believer that ultimate justice and guidance come from Allah. Self-reflection and accountability are also essential. After an episode of anger, examining one's reaction helps in learning and growth. Understanding how emotions were expressed, whether appropriately or excessively, encourages humility, self-discipline, and emotional maturity. Anger management is further enhanced by cultivating empathy, kindness, and forgiveness, which soften the heart and prevent grudges from taking root. By mastering anger, a believer experiences greater control over their emotions, maintains harmonious relationships, and cultivates a sense of inner peace. The ability to respond calmly rather than react impulsively transforms challenges into opportunities for growth, allowing the heart to remain balanced and serene regardless of external circumstances. Stress management is a vital component of controlling emotions and achieving peace in life. Modern life is full of pressures, responsibilities, and unexpected challenges that can overwhelm the heart and mind if not addressed properly. Islam teaches that the believer must seek balance and maintain calmness in every situation, relying on faith, reflection, and practical strategies to navigate difficulties. Learning to manage stress is not a sign of weakness, it is a demonstration of wisdom, self-discipline, and spiritual awareness. A person who handles stress effectively preserves their emotional stability, maintains clarity of thought, and experiences a sense of inner peace even amid challenging circumstances. The first step in managing stress is awareness of its presence. Recognizing the signs, tension in the body, racing thoughts, irritability, or difficulty concentrating, allows the believer to intervene before stress escalates into anxiety or emotional imbalance. By acknowledging stress and understanding its causes, a person can take deliberate steps to address the situation rather than reacting impulsively. This may involve setting priorities, breaking tasks into manageable parts, or seeking guidance and support from trusted sources while keeping reliance on Allah central. Prayer, dhikr, and Quranic reflection play a crucial role in stress management. Turning to Allah for guidance, seeking His help in moments of difficulty, and reflecting on His wisdom provide perspective, calm the heart, and reinforce the believer's trust that every challenge carries divine purpose. These spiritual practices help to anchor the mind and heart, reducing feelings of overwhelm and promoting emotional resilience. Healthy lifestyle choices also support stress management. Adequate sleep, proper nutrition, and regular physical activity strengthen both body and mind, making it easier to cope with pressure. Mindfulness and self-reflection allow the believer to monitor emotions, respond thoughtfully, and maintain composure under pressure. Additionally, maintaining gratitude, patience, and empathy cultivates a balanced perspective, preventing minor challenges from becoming sources of excessive worry. By integrating spiritual practices, self-awareness, and practical strategies, the believer develops the ability to manage stress effectively. This empowers the heart to remain calm, the mind to remain focused, and the soul to remain connected to Allah, creating a life where challenges are navigated with wisdom, emotional balance is maintained, and inner peace is cultivated regardless of external circumstances. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful tools for controlling emotions and maintaining peace in life. Holding on to grudges, resentment, or anger weighs heavily on the heart, disrupting emotional balance and creating inner turmoil. Islam teaches that forgiveness is a virtue that not only benefits others, but also liberates the believer's own soul. By choosing to forgive, a person releases negative emotions, restores harmony in relationships, and opens the heart to peace, contentment, and spiritual growth. Forgiveness is not always easy, but it is a mark of strength, patience, and faith, allowing the believer to rise above hurt and respond with wisdom and compassion. The first step in practicing forgiveness is self-reflection. Understanding why an offense or injustice causes strong emotions allows the believer to address the root of their feelings rather than simply reacting. Often anger or resentment arises from pride, attachment, or unrealistic expectations. By examining these triggers, a person can cultivate humility and empathy, realizing that everyone is fallible and that mistakes are part of the human experience. This awareness creates space for compassion and understanding, which are essential components of genuine forgiveness. Forgiveness also requires patience and emotional discipline. The heart may naturally want to retaliate or hold on to hurt, but choosing restraint strengthens character and protects the soul from unnecessary suffering. Islam emphasizes that those who forgive are rewarded by Allah, and that releasing anger and resentment purifies the heart. Engaging in prayer, dhikr, and reflection helps to calm the mind, shift focus from the offense, and reinforce trust in Allah's justice and wisdom. Another aspect of forgiveness is letting go of expectations for apology or restitution. True forgiveness is given freely, without conditions or demands, and is rooted in the desire to restore peace within the heart. It does not mean forgetting the lesson or allowing harm to continue, but rather it is an intentional act of releasing negative emotions and refusing to be controlled by past wrongs. Forgiveness nurtures emotional intelligence, strengthens relationships, and promotes inner peace. A heart that forgives experiences freedom from bitterness, clarity in thought, and resilience in facing future challenges. It allows the believer to respond to life with compassion, wisdom, and a deep sense of calm that remains steadfast regardless of external circumstances. Gratitude is a fundamental practice for controlling emotions and attaining lasting peace in life. The human heart is naturally prone to dissatisfaction, envy, and frustration when it focuses on what is lacking rather than what is present. Islam teaches that a heart filled with gratitude experiences contentment, resilience, and joy, even amid challenges and hardships. By recognizing and appreciating the countless blessings Allah has granted, a believer strengthens emotional balance, nurtures positive thinking, and cultivates a sense of inner calm that is not dependent on external circumstances. The first step in practicing gratitude is awareness. A believer must consciously acknowledge the blessings in daily life, both big and small. These may include health, family, sustenance, guidance, and opportunities for worship and personal growth. By reflecting on these gifts, the heart shifts focus from complaints and dissatisfaction to appreciation and contentment. Gratitude helps the believer to maintain perspective, reducing feelings of anger, envy, and stress that often arise from unmet desires or challenges. Gratitude also transforms the way a believer responds to trials and adversity. Life is full of tests, setbacks, and disappointments, but a grateful heart sees these moments as opportunities for growth, patience, and reliance on Allah. Recognizing that every challenge carries wisdom fosters resilience, allowing the believer to respond calmly rather than impulsively. Prayer, dhikr, and Quranic reflection reinforce this mindset by grounding the heart in remembrance of Allah and His infinite mercy. Another important aspect of gratitude is its connection to humility and contentment. A person who practices gratitude recognizes that all provisions and successes are blessings from Allah, not merely results of personal effort. This awareness softens the heart, reduces pride, and encourages kindness and empathy toward others. Gratitude also promotes emotional intelligence by helping the believer manage reactions to stress, disappointment, or provocation, creating stability in thought and feeling. By integrating gratitude into daily life, a believer develops control over emotions, strengthens patience, and nurtures inner peace. Gratitude turns ordinary moments into sources of joy, transforms challenges into opportunities for growth, and fosters a heart that remains calm, balanced, and resilient. It becomes a spiritual and practical practice that guides the believer through life with wisdom, serenity, and contentment, allowing peace to flourish even amid external chaos.